We're here at National Pavement Expo 2016 with John Paraschak, who's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Stewart-Amos Sweeper Company. And he is standing here in front of the Starfire S-4, and I understand this is the XL. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to find out here in a minute.
Well, thank you, Ranger. The XL stands for extra large, and this is the 7th model in our fleet of 7 Starfire models. The XL is a full-featured, highly productive model based on a non-CDL chassis, a 26,000 GVW chassis.
So this is a big beefy sweeper to not have to have a CDL with, that's for sure.
Correct. We have one other model that is a non-CDL. It's our S4. It's a 4-yarder, has a 10-foot dump height, and comes on a 19,500. But a lot of our customers were requesting something more in line with a mid-size sweeper with greater features. So we came up with the XL. The XL has a 4.5 cubic yard capacity hopper, similar to most mid-size mechanical broom sweepers. It comes with a 12-foot variable dump height. 10,000.
The show, look at that. It's if you see extended up here for the show with the banner on top, and it looks further than 12 feet dumping.
Well,
right
I'll tell you what, it felt like more than 12 feet putting that little banner up there.
It did.
It also has 10,000 pound lift capacity for the load. The unit will sweep up to an 11-foot path with large 54-inch standard gutter brooms. They provide extra reach to keep the unit away from everything from trees to signposts, and if you're sweeping a city street, mailboxes.
Sure. They
allow you, when you are sweeping, to stay away from anything that could harm the side of the truck or whatever you're sweeping up against.
Okay.
But 11-foot also increases your productivity.
Sure.
The unit also comes with 330 gallons of water, equally distributed between a standard 200-gallon tank in the rear, which I'll show you in a few minutes, and a supplemental 130-gallon water tank supplied in the front.
Okay.
The weight distribution being distributed equally across the frame of the chassis. So what you've got here is essentially you've got in a non-CDL chassis, 26,000 GVW, a full-featured sweeper, a mid-size sweeper essentially, that contractors do not need a CDL operator.
Tell me about the 3-shaft elevator and what that means for people.
Okay. Stewart-Amos is the only manufacturer that has a 3-shaft elevator system. As you know, all elevators and conveyor systems on mechanical broom sweepers have a top shaft and they have a bottom shaft on which either the chains or the belts revolve.
Right.
Okay, we have a 3rd shaft, as you can see right here, and it's right here, that is mounted off center of the other 2 shafts. This shaft lifts and cradles the top side of the chain system and essentially supports the weight of the chain system.
Oh.
This allows us to allow that chain system and allow the mechanics to allow that chain system to be loosened and to droop down so that the chains are loose. The looser they are, the longer they last. A tightened chain is a chain that will wear out more quickly.
Sure.
And the quicker the chain, or the tighter the chains are, the more quickly they will wear. This 3rd shaft system, we have tested it, and a properly maintained 3-shaft system will last anywhere from 3 to 4 times longer than a similarly maintained 2-shaft system.
That's great.
We have customers who routinely get over 2,000 hours of wear life out of our 3-shaft system. Now, in addition to that, another benefit of a 3-shaft system is twice as many tightening points or adjustment points. As the chains need to be adjusted, chains or a belt needs to be adjusted. You would tension in one way or another the top, so you would tension it this way. However, once you have maximized the tensioning, then you have to back on a chain system. You have to back it off and then remove a link. A lot of times for contractors, it's right in the middle of their busiest season, and it generally takes a day for them to do it, so they've lost some productivity. With our system, instead of having to go back to the shop for a day or so, they simply go down and start tensioning the second adjustment point. So they can go all summer before they have to do any type of major adjustments.
Okay, very good.
And of course, the third thing is that there is no clapping with our system because both chains are kept separate from each other, minimizing any type of clogging that might develop when you have the two chains kind of coming together and going in opposite directions. So those are just some of the benefits. But longevity of chain life and less maintenance and less cost is the major factor of a 3-shaft system.
So the only way the debris is going to get into that 3-shaft elevator, I'm thinking, is to have a broom someplace. I think there is one.
That's a logical assumption, yes. And there's another exclusive or very exclusive feature that we have, and that's the fact that all of our brooms, both the main and the gutter brooms, are spring balanced. What we mean by that is that as the brooms wear, the brooms are spring balanced, and these springs maintain proper broom pressure at all times. As the brooms wear down, as you see down here, as the bristle length decreases, these springs will provide the correct amount of pressure on those brooms, even as the brooms wear down. It does not require operator judgment. You don't require an operator to adjust hydraulic pressure or pneumatic pressure, separate systems to apply pressure to the brooms. That means that the brooms will last longer because the proper amount of pressure is being applied to them at all times. It also means that you're going to get a better sweep because the right amount of pressure is being applied to them. When the broom is worn out, you take it out, you put a new broom in, and the same amount of pressure is always going to be equally applied.
Good. Interesting, unique features.
Why don't we come a little bit forward and I'll show you another unique feature that Stewart-Amos has. All mechanical broom sweepers have high dumps, and the lifting mechanism, however, can be different. We are the only company that has 4 lift scissors incorporated into our high dump. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 lift scissors guarantee a more stable lifting platform for a hopper. Why is that important? Well, let's say it's a hot July day and you happen to be picking up a load of material that happens to be sticky or unbalanced, or the load is unbalanced. If that's the case, you've got heavy weight and you're lifting it up high in the air, the load could be unbalanced, causing the hopper to kind of shift in one direction or another. If the scissors that support that hopper are not strong enough, or are not strong enough to keep that in place, you can have a tweaking of the hopper. And the hopper may not come down just the same direction as it came up.
Thank you.
Okay.
I wouldn't care for a tweaking of the hopper.
Well, what we do is, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, and you wouldn't either, so you put
4 scissors guarantee a strong platform and the proper lift, and so that the hopper will always come down in the same direction it went up.
Very important.
Well, that also allows us several other benefits. It allows us to put our dump cylinders, incorporate them directly into the scissors so that they are more protected inside the scissors. It also allows us, and when we go around the other side, I'll show you, allows us to put a longer dump door on the hopper, because we're not afraid of the dump door or the hopper twisting or turning when it's up in the air. A longer dump door means that you don't have to get as close and kiss the, let's say you're dumping it into a dump truck. You don't have to kiss the dump truck or lean up against it or scratch the paint or whatever, because you've got a small little door on there. A long dump door means you can dump into the center of the dump truck, fill it more effectively, or if anything else, you don't have to get as close.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, one other thing before we go any further, we are also one of the few manufacturers that builds all of our sweeper bodies on a one-piece frame, as you see right here. This frame is made out of 2-inch by 5-inch by 3/8-inch metal. It's a heavy-duty frame. Why is that important? Because the chassis rail only runs from here, essentially back right behind the wheels. And you have a lot of the sweeper body that hangs off the back of the sweeper. A lot of weight. You have a lot of components that are running, a lot of vibration, and you want a frame that can handle all that vibration, all that weight. You're driving down the highway, I hate to say it, but there have been times I've hit bumps and I've almost been airborne with my sweeper, and a lot of other people have too. So you need a frame that can take the punishment and protect the components from jarring vibration and cracks and stresses. This frame can do that. In addition to this heavy-duty frame of which all these components are attached, the rear of the unit, where you have most of your weight hanging off the back, we have an additional 8-inch C-channel that supports this additional weight back here and is connected into our frame. So you've got double protection, double support for the extra weight that hangs off the back of the unit. This is something that's kind of unique for our sweepers.
Okay.
Finally, we're the only company that still builds our units with steel canopies. The steel, we don't go to fiberglass. We stick with steel because steel canopies provide additional rigidity for the frame. They help to hold the whole frame together. We could go to fiberglass, but fiberglass will not support the frame. And as you can see, as the units get larger, there's even more room inside of our units. We don't shrink wrap around our components. The spacing in there gets larger. Serviceability gets even better as the units get larger. And then, as I mentioned before, we make 7 models of mechanical broom sweepers. Over 90% of the components on these sweeper bodies are compatible throughout. In other words, everything you see right here, the hydraulics and the engine components are the same on all 7 of our models. The elevator systems are the same on all 7 of our models. The broom systems are the same on all 7 of our models. The only thing that gets larger, of course, is the hoppers are different. The elevators may get a little longer. The chains will get a little longer to support the bigger bodies. The frames may get a little wider and longer to support the larger chassis. But that's the only differences between them.
Okay.
I mentioned earlier that our spring balance brooms on the main broom, we also have it on our gutter brooms. This is the same broom assembly that you'll find on every one of our sweepers. The only difference is on our smallest sweeper, this plate will be a smaller plate. However, the broom segments will be the same on all. This assembly here will be the same on all. This happens to be a 54-inch broom. Again, longer reach for a larger unit.
And what is the power of this particular unit?
This one, all of our units come with 59 horsepower Kubota diesels.
Okay.
They are rated, the 59 horsepower unit is rated for our largest sweeper, the S6, which is a 6-yard top-loading debris hopper. It loads like a silo from the top down, so we can effectively load nearly the entire hopper. That unit has a 14,000 pound lift capacity because of how much material it can load. So all of our sweepers, as they get smaller, you can say that their components are over-engineered for their sweeper bodies, because they're all engineered for our largest sweeper. However, we still use those components because we want to have commonality of parts. All of our dealers essentially only need one hydraulic motor for all 10 of our different regen and mechanical broom sweepers, because we use the same motors on every single one of them. We use the same chains and belts and everything else on all of them.
Good compatibility.
Right. Again, you know, the thing is that Stewart-Amos believes in building simple products, simple sweepers. We don't believe you have to be a rocket scientist to design a sweeper. We don't believe that having a lot of computer components and the latest computer technology is the way to go, especially when you're dealing in lots of mud and dirt and grease and grime. That's why you won't find sophisticated computers and dash panels and screens that your kids may be playing video games on at home on our sweepers. We use simple switches and gauges on our units that are easily sourceable and replaceable, recognizable in our components, and will hold up under the grueling day-to-day operations of dirt and grease and grime and dust. That's our whole philosophy. Keep it as simple as possible.
Big feature.
So in summary, the S-4 XL, since its introduction a little over a year and a half ago, has proven to be our most popular model, both for and especially for contractors with our non-CDL unit, and for municipalities, both for the non-CDL and for the traditional CDL model, based on the CDL chassis. They have become extremely popular and our #1 seller.
Well, how would somebody contact you to buy one of these machines?
Well, they can call me direct.
A good plan.
That's #1. It's 717-514-6119.
All right.
They can call me, or they can go to our website at Stewart-Amos.com. Call me, and I'll be more than happy to put them in contact with a dealer close to them.
Okay, and just how to spell Stewart-Amos, it looks just like that.
That's right. And they can go on our website anytime and see a host of videos on our various products.
All right. Thanks, John.
My pleasure.